Let's say you're at a movie theater and the actor started taking your mother's name in vain. There's no way you would stay and keep watching that, right? How about if they took your dad's name in vain, or your wife or your husband's name? You would get up and leave without hesitation. I think we need to have the same reaction when somebody's taking the Lord's name in vain. And that's the goal of my speech today, just to get you to think about what you can do to put an end to using this horrible, hurtful, and sinful language. It's almost impossible to watch a movie or TV show these days without hearing the Lord's name being taken in vain. It seems almost intentional, like the actors would rather use these words than not use them. Why is that? I think it has a lot to do with the moral decline we've seen in America over the past several years. I am certain that if we work to put an end to that decline, we will begin to hear the Lord's name being taken in vain a lot less frequently. What's one way to stop the moral decline? Thank you. We start doing a better job of holding our political leaders accountable for their actions or lack thereof. As cited in Charles Stanley's book, Turning the Tide, James Garfield, the man who would become the 20th president of the United States, gave this warning to the American people in 1877, almost 140 years ago. Now more than ever before, the people are responsible for the character of their Congress. If that body be ignorant, reckless, and corrupt, it is because the people tolerate ignorance, recklessness, and corruption. If it be intelligent, brave, and pure, it is because the people demand these high qualities to represent them in the national legislature. As you have no doubt noticed, we have allowed our leaders to make a moral mess of this country, and we only have ourselves to blame. We vote for them, we put them in office, then we fail to hold them accountable when they conduct themselves in their policy and immorality. Let's start doing our homework when we vote. Let's not vote for someone because they're cool. Let's not vote for someone simply because it would be a historical landmark. Let's make sure they are men and women of godly principles, and that if we don't feel they are doing their very best to serve God and us, we will do what we can to make sure that they don't progress in their political careers. When we start to see the immorality decline in America, we will see a decline in the usage of taking the Lord's name in vain. However, we have got to go deeper than that. This is not about just don't say my name. In biblical times and today, his name stands for much more than just a title, far more than just a word. And when the Bible commands us not to take the Lord's name in vain, it doesn't just mean don't use God's name to swear or to speak commonly or basely. What does the name of God mean? As Bible teacher John MacArthur says in his sermon entitled, "Hallowed be thy name," it means all that he is. A person's name stands for their entire character. In fact, when someone speaks evil of a person, or lies about that person, or tries to destroy their reputation, that person will respond by saying, "You have ruined my name." And they might sue just because our justice system allows for that. It's called defamation of character. You can't just destroy someone's name. If you defame a person's name by lying about them, or whatever that defamation may be, the next time people hear that person's name, they're likely to have negative thoughts about them, and all because of all the lies that you told about them and defame their name. The name is to be protected. It's not that the name itself is to be protected, it's who is behind that name. As John MacArthur states, when we say God, we're talking about all that he is, the personal character of God. The name of God stands for his nature, his attributes, his character, and his personality. In the Old Testament of the Bible, Psalm 7:17 says, "I will give thanks to the Lord according to his righteousness, and will sing praise to the Lord Most High." So what does that mean? It means you are praising his name. Are you offering homage to a title? No. To the person who bears the title, his name is all that he is. It is the sum of his personality, his character, his will, and his authority. Here's another point I'd like to make. As Americans, we pride ourselves on the principle of equality. Let's be genuine in that equality. I can guarantee you have never heard Allah's name taken in vain in the movies. Hollywood wouldn't stand for that because it might offend Muslims. You can't use words like queer because you might offend the homosexual community. And the list goes on and on. Personally, I, like millions of others who believe on the Lord Jesus Christ, get offended when we hear the Lord's name in vain. So do your part. Let's start with the little man. Remember, next time you're about to take the Lord's name in vain, you're offending the people who love him and follow him. But more importantly, you're offending God himself.